Hi, Mr. Winfrey. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Good.
All right.
Today, what are we going to be talking about today, Mr. Winfrey?
We're talking about who is the Antichrist, I guess.
Okay. Well, today I do have a few questions
Yeah.
about the Antichrist. And my first question is, who is the Antichrist?
The Antichrist. The Antichrist is the false prophet. So there's a lot of people that's all confused about the Antichrist. And most of these false prophets and preachers and teachers is be saying that the Antichrist is not a religious leader. It's a political leader. But it is not true. The Antichrist is a religious leader and a political leader. Just like Nebuchadnezzar was. See, Nebuchadnezzar set up an image. He made everybody bow down and worship that image. See, and he ruled the government too. See, it all goes in one. The religion and the government goes together. That's why nowadays in America they want to separate religion and government. But the religion and government goes in one. It's the same. That's what's wrong with the people. Do not understand that because they separate the religion and the government, just like God with Moses. You know, God, give Moses the commandment how people to dress and all these different things and all the laws of God that the people had to follow. And the religion and the government, it was together back in Moses' time. The animal sacrifice, everything was all, you have to do it all. That's what people do not understand. And the false prophet have all that authority. That's why the Bible says exercise all the power in Revelation. You exercise all the power of the first beast, that false prophet who came in Revelation chapter 13. Let me turn to Revelation chapter 13 where it says in verse 11, it said, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. See, he exercised all that power, and he was the false prophet. You see, he had the 10 horn with him. He tells the 10 horn what to do, and the 10 horn, do what he says. But he is the head, just like Nebuchadnezzar. He had the sheriff, the governor, all these different people, following him. And he told them what to do, and the people had to do what those sheriff. But the orders came down from Nebuchadnezzar. It's the same thing with the false prophet. The orders come from him. You always have one leader, just like when you go in the church house, we have one leader, the pastor be the head. Just like the president of the United States, we have a vice president and the president. We listen to the president, the leader of the country. And the Antichrist, the false prophet, will be the leader of the world. It's the same thing. That's what I'll be trying to show, and the Bible tell you in First Thessalonians. I think it's Second Thessalonians. Yeah, it's Second Thessalonians chapter 2. Chapter 2, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and verse, let's see. Let me see here. First Thessalonians, I think it's Second Thessalonians chapter 2, where it says, I beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. See, that day will not come except there come a falling away first. See, the falling away is already happening right now. People are falling away from God. They don't want to hear the word of God no more. You know, this the man of sin is the man that be revealed as the man of sin is the false prophet. You go down in verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity do already work, only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. See, only he who now let is God let iniquity goes on until he be taken out of the way. See, God, you know, God is taken out of the way, and then that wicked will be revealed. See, people don't want nothing to do with God no more. You just can talk to most anybody, don't want to hear nothing about God anymore. You know, this is our generation. That's why they took prayer out of school and all that, and promote homosexual, and God say that it's wrong. You know, it's many things they're changing all God's law. They don't left all God's commandments. Let's see. And verse 8 say, and then shall that wicked be revealed. You see? See, the Bible tell you, then shall that wicked be, that's the false prophet. Wicked be revealed, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. It's in the verse 9 tells you, say, even him who is coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. Said, even him who is coming. Who is coming is after the working of Satan. Jesus Christ is coming after the working of Satan. See, Satan is working right now and doing the great tribulation. He's deceiving people. See, and most people are deceived. And that's the devil's job, to deceive you. You know, speak lies. You know, just like he did Eve in the beginning. And God told Eve in the beginning, you eat of that fruit, you shall surely die. And he came back right around and told Eve, if you eat of that fruit, you shall surely not die. See? And Eve believed it. Deceived. She was deceived. You know, that's the devil's job, to deceive you. He just doing his job. That's all he is doing. And in Revelation 13, you see, but like I'm finished this, I'm reading it over again. It says, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. You see, like these people so-called speaking in tongue, all that's lying wonders. You see, tongue have to been done away with really, you know. But people still, God not giving them the gift of speaking in tongue. They want to, you know, make believe that they are speaking in tongue and using a made up language, and that is not true. You see, you know, just because God didn't give them the gift of speaking in tongues. See, now mostly people got to go to school, you know, to speak in the other person language. See, speaking in tongue is speaking in the other person language. And speaking in an unknown tongue, you know, like somebody come from Japan and some speaking Japanese, where they come into your church and everybody in the church speaking English, where that Japanese guy, he's speaking in an unknown tongue because nobody understands him. But speaking in tongue is speaking in the other person language. God will give you the gift of speaking that other person language. That's what God did the disciple on the day of Pentecost. This is what speaking in tongue is. See, in Genesis chapter 11, the whole world was one language. God confounded that language when they were trying to build a tower to heaven. So God gave the disciple the gift, so all the language he gave those people at that time, God gave the disciple, when the day of Pentecost came, he gave the disciple the gift to speak those languages so he can spread the word to all nations about Jesus Christ. You know, to repent for your sin and get baptized and repent for your sin and receive the Lord Jesus Christ. You know, and most people do not understand. These prophets and preachers do not understand what speaking in tongue is. Speaking in tongue is speaking in other person language. It's like when Paul could go to almost any country, he could go and speak those people language and tell them about Jesus Christ. Because God gave him that gift to speak in those people language. Now, some people had more than one gift, you know, to speak more than one language. Some of them just a few language. It's like some people now can speak a few language. And some people right now can speak a lot of different language. It's the same thing. But speaking in tongue is speaking in other person's language. Speaking in unknown tongue, that means nobody don't understand what you are saying. Because it's unknown to you. You know, if you can't speak Russian or Japanese, then you won't know what the person is saying. You know, if you only can speak English. Yeah. So God have to give you that gift. That's why the Bible tells you to pray that the person that's speaking in unknown tongue, pray that he can interpret it. So you can interpret it and speak that other person's language, who he's speaking to, so that they may understand it. All right, in Revelation chapter 13, I'm getting off the subject now, but I wanted to try to explain to a lot of people a lot of things they don't know, they be deceived. Revelation chapter 13, where it says, you know, it talked about the Antichrist. I'm going to go back to that, like in verse 11, it talked about the Antichrist. In Revelation 13 and 11, where I was, you know, that second beast. Now in verse 14, he said, he deceived them that dwelled on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwelled on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. See, he said, see, this false prophet said that the people should make an image to the beast, and the people made an image to that beast, the head that had got wounded. See, one of those heads got wounded before, you know, like maybe the lion, the bear, one of them, you know, one of the leopard, because they had 4 heads, and the leopard, one of them got wounded. So the Bible said they had to make, the false prophet said that they should make an image to that beast, you know, and they're gonna make, the people gonna make an image to that beast. And then everybody have to bow down and worship, like Nebuchadnezzar, they made an image for the people to bow down and worship that image. And that's going to make the abomination that make it desolate. And God told his people not to bow down themselves and worship an image. That will make the abomination that make it, when God will turn his face away from Jerusalem. You know, and the Jerusalem going to go into captivity. You see. But they're going to kill the 2 witnesses first. And they're going to set up the abomination that make it desolate, and Jerusalem going to go into captivity. You know, it's going to be war and stuff. See, Jerusalem going to go into captivity for 3.5 years. God going to bring them. First it was 70 years in the first Babylon, they went into captivity. But this time it could be 3.5 years. God gave the Antichrist that authority to do that. For 3.5 years, and then after the 3.5 years, then God it could be the battle of Armageddon. God, you know, send, you know, get them up all those nations for the battle of Armageddon. See, at first he gonna get up all nations against Jerusalem, so Jerusalem gonna be taken over when they set up their abomination that make it desolate. See, that's what a lot of these preachers do not understand, that they're confused. They think that like the battle of Armageddon and the 3.5 years, the same thing at the same time. But the first Jerusalem, God gonna get all nation against Jerusalem, so they will be taken over. You know, they're gonna go into captivity. A lot of them gonna be killed. But then after that, that's why God told his people to flee into the mountain. You know, why God had a place prepared for them, you know, for 3.5 years. You know, you can read about it in Revelation chapter 12. It tells you that, you know, in verse 6 and in verse 14. You know, God had a place prepared for them. That's all those people that fled from Judea, you know, in the Judea area. Those that are in Judea to flee to the mountain, what Jesus Christ talking about in Matthew chapter 24. They had to flee to the mountain. But then after that, you know, in the battle of Armageddon, like Russia and all of them, they're going to come against God's people. They're going to want to destroy them, you know. So that's going to be the battle of Armageddon. That's when God going to destroy them. You see. That's what it's talking about. This is what a lot of people do not understand. You see, at first God will get up all nation against Jerusalem, for Jerusalem will be taken over, you know, for 3.5 years. Then after that, at the end of the 3.5 years, then it's going to be the battle of Armageddon. You know, they'll get all those, you know, in the battle of Jehoshaphat, where they're going to destroy all those people. You know, that army in Russia and all of those army come against God's people. Yeah. See, the people that had to flee, you know, and God had a place prepared for them. But they're going to try to come again, the end time, they're going to try to come against them. And God will destroy them. On the battle of Armageddon, it's going to be the last battle. But I might get into that a little more later on. But like I said, like in verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many as should not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Same thing that Nebuchadnezzar did. See, the people didn't want to worship the image of the beast, the image that he set up, he threw into the fiery furnace. The same thing with the Antichrist got to do. They say you should be killed. They're identical. You see, that's what people don't think it's going to happen, but that's what's going to happen. You're going to set up an image. You're going to want people to bow down and worship that image. And they know now if you don't worship that image because they got technology, because they see you everywhere and they watch you, watching on television, your cellular phone, everywhere. All down the street, everywhere, they're watching you. They know when you bow down and worship that image, they will send you a message on your telephone, on the television, all that when you're watching it, all the television, laptop, everything. And they will send a message for you to bow down and worship. Yeah. See, back then you would hear the flute and belsa and all these stuff like that, and the people would have to bow down and worship the image. But now they could send this message now, you know, with that image on it, for you to bow down and worship. And then the people will know if you bow down and worship, because they're watching you everywhere, whether you be in the street or in the house, anywhere. Laying down in the bed, they're watching you. That's the difference now. See, you got the technology now. You know, back then they didn't have that technology, but now we have that technology. The Antichrist will know if you bow down and worship. That's why he'll say you should be killed. And it will send maybe a robot, or you send them people that have a computer chip in their brain, you know, at you to kill you. Or a robot. They use robot too now to kill you. You know, a cyborg, either one. It don't matter. But that's what will happen. And verse 16 says, he calls it all, both small and great, rich, poor, and free, bound to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So it can be Could be three different things, because different nations, like I said, sometimes they use different things to buy and sell now. Like sometimes people start using chip in their hand to buy and sell. Some use a cellular phone, smartphone, different things. Some using cards, smart card. You know, use different things. See, different country, most likely Kenya, I think they use 85% of them, they use smartphone to buy and sell. See, that's just how it is. It's not just one thing that they use. But you know, if time keep going on, they want most everybody to have like a chip in their hand and stuff like that. Some people ain't gonna want it, you know, and stuff like that. But they gonna start putting it in the children, the babies, from when they're born after a while. You know, some places doing it now, I guess. But this is how I have for y'all for right now. So, any more questions, young lady, for right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Antichrist, is he here now, and when is he coming?
He's not here yet. It's not time for him. See, it's not time for the Antichrist to come. See, because we just in the first and the second beast. We got to go into the third beast. The third beast had 4 heads. Then the Bible saying a lot of time of the kingdom, king of fierce countenance, you know, a dark sentence will stand up, you know, and that would be the Antichrist, you know. But the third beast, you know, have to rule a while. That's why the Bible said in the latter time of that king, and that Christ will come in. See, because we are not yet in the third beast, we're still in the first and the second beast. See, that's when the Antichrist will come in the fourth beast. You know, and when them 10 horns get here, and he gonna get out from the third beast and get with the 10 horns, and he gonna pluck up them other 3 beasts who he was with. See, the lion, the bear. I don't know if it's China or European nation, because the European nation might be one out of those 10 horns. You know, because a lot of nations coming out of the European, you know, the EU nation. A lot of nations are coming out, but that's just how it is, you know. And then it might just form 10 horns in the latter time. And the Antichrist will come out from them 3 other beasts who he was with, because there was 4 of them. And he will come out from those 4, so he got to leave 3, and then he gonna get with those 10 horns, so he got to pluck up them other 3 who he was with. And that's gonna be the final beast, but it's not time yet for him to come. So I'm telling you, when he is coming, you have to see the 10 horns. The third beast got to rule a while, got to come in, then the 10 horns got to come in, and he gonna come in among those 10. That's when he is coming. You will see him. See, it's not time. False prophet believe that he's coming in now, but that's not so. So, this is all I have for y'all today.
All right. Well, we thank you, Mr. Winfrey. And we will be talking next
we'll
time.
be explaining more about the Antichrist.
Well, we thank you.
Oh,
May
thank
God
you.
bless you. And have a good evening.
All right, you too.